A year and a half after opening its doors, the nearly $700 million Sunseeker Resort in Port Charlotte is up for sale. The USA Today network reports the facility's owner, Allegiant Travel Company, hopes a sale of the 22-acre Charlotte Harbor compound will be finalized by September. We reached out to Allegiant to learn why they're looking to sell, but haven't received a response prior to this recording. So what happened to this struggling resort, and what could a sale mean to the community? With the very latest on the story, we're joined now by Phil Fernandez, In the Know columnist with the USA Today network. Welcome, Phil, and I'm excited to have you because you've been following this story literally from the very beginning. So help us to understand, why would this resort get sold now? I know Allegiant has spent so years and time and money on this.
Yeah, they've spent millions. I mean, probably close to $700 million with everything that went out there. They've lost they're not making the kind of money or the return I think that they'd like to make. They want to return back to their core business, which is the airlines. At the time when they did this, they had different leadership, a different CEO who was like, hey, let's diversify, because it's a very unusual thing for them to do in the industry. But it hasn't had the occupancy. People have talked about pricing and location are some of the challenges out there.
So occupancy rates, I mean, what are they looking like?
Well, yeah, last year they opened around Christmas of 2023. Pretty much all of last year they were trying to get above 40%, which is quite low in the industry. Toward the end of the year, they got to about 54, 55%. And then this first quarter, they were very excited to get to 70%. But now the forecast is talking about, mid 50s, for the second quarter.
So from the very beginning, Sunseeker had a lot of obstacles. Let's talk about that first. Yeah. Construction delays. Yeah,
the construction delays, I mean, they have been trying to get this going, for, 6 years or so. They ran into COVID. We had the supply chain issues. And then, just the hurricanes. They just kept coming. I mean, the damage from the hurricanes alone was probably over $40 million. So it really, really slowed them down. It was just a lot of hurdles to get over.
Yeah, I remember driving over the bridge and taking images of the cranes collapsed. The property is beautiful, though. I did notice, as you mentioned, every time I would go there, gorgeous, but just not that many people. I mean, they worked really hard to transform that area, as you mentioned, right? It was not an attractive area prior.
Yeah, it had become, a little bit run down. I think there had been some of the homes had become older, and then, Allegiant, I think, quietly went in there and started buying the properties individually and cutting deals, and then all of a sudden they had this project that they wanted to do. But yeah, it had been a difficult area, and it's just that it was an opportunity for Charlotte County to say, hey, we can really do something nice with this property, because it is a gorgeous view there.
Help us to understand that for Allegiant, this was really unique, an airline taking on a resort, right? I mean, this was risky.
Yeah, it really was. There were a lot of questions about it early on. Is this what Allegiant really wanted to do? They, at the time, obviously were the low-cost flight type airlines, but they saw opportunities with Punta Gorda. That was one of their hot destinations, and I think they foresaw a potential future to say, hey, maybe we can go into lodging and entertainment. And in fact, when you would talk with company folks, they would remind you that, hey, we're now the Allegiant Travel Company, that's what they wanted to be referred to. But that was, like I say, a different leadership, and I think with the challenges that are going on out there, they're like, you know what? Our investors, the stock market, they kind of want us to stay into the core.
Do we have any idea who they might be, trying to sell to?
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. Obviously, they've got to make the property, something that an investor might be interested in. Would it be in the lodging industry? They're trying to show that, hey, maybe we can grow this with business travel. That's kind of an area that they've been talking about recently, that, hey, I think this could be an opportunity that way. But there are challenges there because they're competing with more established areas like, Naples, Fort Myers, and Sarasota. And it's not that close to a beach. It's like 45 minutes to a beach. And when people come to Florida, the beach is kind of one of the main, destinations.
One of the complaints was not being able to also attract local visitors, right?
Yeah, their hope was that it would become, with the restaurants and bars, that they could get more buy-in from folks at the local level. I know some of the residents have told me that, the pricing, it can be kind of tough for them. Right now, their restaurant bar business, they're restaurants, it's about 30% of their food and beverage, but the 70% is made by the people staying at the hotel.
I know in your reporting you mentioned that, regardless of whether they're trying to at least get out of having a majority stake in this, so whether they sell completely or just partially, Allegiant is going to be staying in Charlotte County and will have a significant impact on the economic growth of Charlotte County.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much built Punta Gorda Airport. I mean, that airport, there was not that much going on there prior to 2012, prior to Allegiant's arrival. I mean, the economic impact with Allegiant there has gone from like 150 million to 1.5 billion annually, which is just astounding numbers to do that in a matter of a dozen years. They're flying to over 50 destinations. Like I said, this is a hot spot for them. So there is this very strong relationship between Charlotte County and Allegiant. So I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Phil Fernandez, thank you so much for your reporting on this. And to continue following your reporting, we can check out the News Press or the Naples Daily News. Thank you.
Please do. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. We've got more great content for you, from news to the arts to the environment. So be sure to like and subscribe to WGCU's YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms for the stories that matter to you.